Tonight at 5, a former veterinarian could face prison time after animal abuse allegations surfaced. Plus, an historic day at the White House as President Biden signs the Respect the Marriage Act into law. And we're taking a closer look at backseat safety in SUVs. Find out if your vehicle made the cut. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. A Wanakee veterinarian could face up to 6.5 years in prison for mistreating animals at a clinic he once owned. A public health official told Wanakee police about the alleged animal abuse in July, but Dr. Wesley Arnett is being charged for incidents from more than a year prior. Tahalil Modine joins us now with more on this investigation. Tahalil?
Eric, the state tells me Dr. Arnett lost his license to practice in September after several employees came forward telling police about a pattern of cruelty towards animals in his care. A warning, some of these details might be difficult to hear. A few allegations the staff at Wanakee Veterinarian told police they include grabbing a long-haired terrier by his muzzle snout until the dog's mouth bled, throwing a Great Dane against the wall, and kicking another dog with enough force to move it across the floor. In a statement, officials from the vet clinic, now under new ownership, declined to speak with News 3, saying the team was emotionally distraught by the situation. They said none of their team of veterinary professionals have been implicated or involved in these charges and are, quote, uncomfortable making any individual team member become the face of this terrible situation. They also recognized the concern and anger that comes with these allegations and said they would be cooperating with authorities. For their investigation, police subpoenaed records relating to 6 dogs and cats.
Tahalil, thank you. A bald eagle that was shot in Milwaukee County last week has died. The bird was found with a gunshot wound, a broken beak, and other injuries on private property in Franklin. Officials say the eagle survived initial surgery last week, but then went into cardiac arrest during another surgery last night. The DNR asking anyone with information to call their tip line. The number there is at the bottom of your screen. Wounding or killing an eagle can result in a $100,000 fine and 1 year in prison for a first offense. Wisconsin will be hit with a mixed bag of messy weather this week. Julian Seawright on the weather patio with some details. Julian?
That's right, and it's starting right now, Eric, as we're beginning to see rain continuing to flow throughout much of southern Wisconsin. We're going to be continuing to see this as we get into the rest of this evening. Now, we are looking at some of that snow on the screen on our radar. Now, that is in the upper atmosphere and is not hitting the ground or even mixing as of yet. Temperatures are still rather warm on the surface, though. It feels rather chilly for us. It is above the freezing point, which is why we're still not seeing much of that mixture or even snow for us here in Dane County and for areas to the southwest. Over the next 3 hours, we will look to see more developments of a resurgence of rain hitting in Platteville and areas from Rock County, Greene County, and to the west, and continuing to flow its way from Dane County and areas to the northeast as it continues to be on that northeasterly track. Now, as we take a look outside, it is cloudy and it's still raining for us here, and visibility in itself has improved a bit for Platteville and Monroe, but has also decreased for Madison. We're now at about 5 miles in terms of visibility, so if you're traveling tonight, be careful because we are going to be looking at some obscurities on the roadways as we continue throughout the rest of this evening. Temperatures will warm up once again as we get into the rest of this evening. Temperatures will be into the upper 30s, which is going to lessen the chance for us to see some of that sleet starting to develop for us. So we are looking for mainly rain throughout the rest of this evening, but wind speeds will also be picking up as we see even gusty conditions as of right now. Into the mid-20s for us here in Madison, but 30s for Lone Rock and upper 20s towards Platteville. Now, we got to talk more about this mixed bag because we could start to see some transitions later into the work week. We'll be timing out in the potential impacts in just a few moments. Until then, back to you, Eric.
Julian, thank you. It is an app used by more than 1 billion people, and your teen is probably one of them. A Wisconsin congressman is calling for President Biden to ban TikTok nationwide. Under legislation introduced today, the app would no longer be allowed in the U.S. Political reporter Will Keneally has more on this push. Will?
So it's mainly security concerns that led Green Bay area Congressman Mike Gallagher to call for TikTok to be banned on U.S. devices. He believes that once the user data gets into the hands of TikTok's Chinese-owned company, it's an open book for the Chinese government.
Imagine during the Cold War that the Soviet Union would have had the opportunity to come into every American television with networking.
That's the analogy that UW-Madison instructor Don Stanley uses to describe TikTok's presence in the United States.
We would have stopped it in its track. No, you cannot advertise in our newspapers. No, you can't create content that looks like news on our news channels.
He sees a dual concern here. A significant amount of user data lives with a Chinese company, and under Chinese law, they have to turn that over to the government when asked.
You can collect keystrokes, keystroke patterns. You can collect data on the demographics, which are pretty standard across different social networks.
And he also sees it as a potential medium through which disinformation can be spread.
Russia's mindset of Ukraine is a part of Russia, therefore we should have Ukraine. Right, and so again, the messaging that we might see is being influenced by those countries.
That's why U.S. Rep. Mike Gallagher is calling to ban TikTok in the country. Gallagher drew an analogy to fentanyl in a statement today.
If you're in China, you're getting the fruits and vegetables version of TikTok to feed your mind, to help you grow. If you're in the West, you're getting the opium version.
That's all in the TikTok algorithm that keeps people scrolling. So his advice, be mindful of the type of content that you're consuming.
I mean, my recommendation is to be conscientious about what it might be doing and really conscientiously trying to limit your time, and that's really hard to do.
So that legislation was introduced today with bipartisan support. Gallagher is joined by Marco Rubio of Florida and a Democratic U.S. Rep from Illinois on the measure.
All right, Will, thank you. Trial dates have been set for a Diocese of Madison pastoral associate accused of having sexual contact with a teen. 31-year-old Rajnal Raymond is facing enticement and sexual assault of a child charges. Now, the diocese put Raymond on administrative leave upon hearing of these accusations. Jury selection will begin February 27th. Now, the trial then would begin the next day. The FBI is sharing hate crime statistics for last year, and according to new statistics, nearly 9,000 people were victims of alleged hate crime in 2021, but that number is likely much higher in reality because 35% of law enforcement agencies failed to report. Last year was the first time that hate crimes were reported entirely through this federal incident-based reporting system, and the FBI says the number of law enforcement agencies reporting hate crimes data has decreased dramatically since that transition. It was an historic day in Washington. President Biden signing a bill into law that would protect same-sex and interracial marriages. Deborah Alfarone with more from the White House.
A star-studded event on the South Lawn of the White House as President Biden signed the bipartisan Respect for Marriage Act into law. The landmark bill ensures same-sex and interracial marriages are recognized in every state should the Supreme Court decide to overturn key decisions legalizing those unions in the future.
Marriage is a simple proposition. Who do you love? And will you be loyal to that person you love? It's not more complicated than that.
Advocates who pushed Congress to enshrine those rights into law were among thousands in attendance for the celebration.
With courage, fortitude, and unbreakable unity, we have achieved a landmark victory in the fight for full equality.
Thank you for fighting for our equal humanity and dignity.
While the bill provides a safety net for same-sex and interracial couples, President Biden says that more work needs to be done to protect members of the LGBTQ+ community from discrimination and violence.
We have to speak out. We must stop the hate and violence, like we just saw in Colorado Springs, where a place of acceptance and celebration was targeted for violence and terror.
Back in 2012, President Biden famously declared his support for same-sex marriage. 10 years later, he's vowing to continue his legacy on gay rights and bring pride to the White House. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
And Senator Tammy Baldwin released a statement on the historic measure saying how proud she is to have earned bipartisan support for the bill. She also said she's overcome with joy to see President Biden make the bill the law of the land. A judge has ordered 2 Trump organizations to pay $4,000 in fines after they were found in contempt for failing to comply with subpoenas ahead of a tax fraud trial. They also failed to comply with 3 court orders mandating they produce requested evidence ahead of the trial. Lawyers for the companies claim they did not comply because the subpoenas were vague and the time frame to respond was unreasonably short given the scope of the demands. It's unclear if the entities have paid those fines. It is a smell and sight for sore eyes in a Virginia community. They're having trouble getting their trash collected. This is the scene for dozens of blocks in Centerville. Residents say early last month, the neighborhood's homeowners association dropped a previous trash company because of inconsistent service. They hired another company, but soon after, that company went out of business. The HOA says it's trying to hire a new company, but residents hope it happens soon.
especially around the holidays when all of us have just put our lights up and we're excited to drive around and see the neighborhood, and then there's just trash in the streets, the sidewalks. I mean, it's a nuisance.
County officials also say trash companies in that area are facing a shortage of drivers and trucks. Science fiction, now one step closer to reality. Today, the Energy Department announced a breakthrough in the decades-long quest for nuclear fusion. That's the energy that powers the sun and stars. It works by pressing hydrogen atoms into each other with such force that they make helium and then release enormous amounts of energy and heat. The technology has been around since the hydrogen bomb, but it's extremely hot and incredibly difficult to control, possibly until now.
We're long overdue to have converted something so destructive that finally it could be used for a peaceful purpose in the service of civilization.
Scientists are still likely a decade or two away from scaling this energy to power our grids, but this laboratory is a first step toward clean energy. Last hour, UW Madison professor Stephanie Diem joined the Live at 4 crew to share some ideas of what's next for this new technology.
And we need to do things like, how do you generate electricity? So at the, there's heat coming out of this, and we're actually capturing the heat and using that to generate steam, to turn turbines to generate electricity, similar to what we do now, only cleaner, and really make sure it's sustainable.
U.S. officials say the breakthrough will also pave the way for advancements in national defense. Next at 5, Julian has your latest complete forecast. Plus, do you have an SUV? See where your vehicle ranks on the list for backseat safety and which cars failed the test after the break. And later, after 3 students were killed in a Watertown house fire, the community school district now stepping in to help. Find out how, again, next hour. News 3 now at 6. And a check in the markets in trading today. The Dow Jones Industrial average up more than 103 points. And NASDAQ adds 113. The S&P 500 gains 29, and we'll be right back.
Go farther with personal checking choices. At Starion Bank, you make the decisions. Your money, your style. Apply online in just 4 minutes at starionbank.com.
Oh my gosh, wow. Who am I?
Wow, is that really me?
Hi, I'm Annette, and I'm an actress. Under-eye bags and wrinkles are so frustrating. They're so hard to hide and so hard to get rid of. I came across Plexiderm, and I was so excited. We have a model. His name is Richie, and all he's doing is taking a small amount. It's so powerful. That's all it takes. And what I love about Plexiderm is this is something that you can do in the convenience of your own home. And I did this to my father. We were at home, so we applied it to his under-eye bags, and let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view, and now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. He calls me every single month saying, "Hey, Annette, I'm out of Plexiderm. Please send me more." It's a cream. It's a topical. It literally creates an invisible layer that tightens the skin and smooths it out. All you do is gently rub it underneath your eyes, on your fine lines and wrinkles, and it visibly disappears in as little as 10 minutes.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
I can't even believe that this worked. I was a little skeptical, I am not going to lie, because I saw people online with it, and I'm like, yeah, right, that can't possibly work. I'm telling you, it really works.
I thought I might see a little difference, but to see that big of a difference, I have so many dark circles, I have the puffiness, I have the lines, like, it's amazing.
You have an event, you have any of those moments where you want to feel the best about yourself, I'm telling you, the videos that you see on social media and TV are real.
This holiday season is the best time to try Plexiderm at our startup price of only $14.95. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Go farther with personal checking choices at Starion Bank. Like Smart Checking, it's free when you choose e-statements. Your money, your style. Apply online in just 4 minutes at starionbank.com.
The Watertown school superintendent speaks to News 3 Now after a tragic fire kills 3 students.
Then on the second day of our 12 Days of Giving, SSM Health has a big surprise to a local nonprofit. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
News 3 Now's Call for Action team gets results. We're taking action for you.
Nearly 700 cases closed. More than $500,000 recovered. And we're not finished yet. When you need help, call for action only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Today's cars are safer than ever, but many SUVs get a poor rating when it comes to protecting passengers in the back seat. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety recently conducted tests measuring the likelihood of injuries for people in the back of SUVs. Only two vehicles, the Volvo XC40 and the Ford Escape, earned a good rating when it came to backseat safety. Poorer scoring SUVs included the Genesis brand, Jeep Grand Cherokee, both the Hyundai Santa Fe and the Tucson SUV, the Kia Carnival minivan. The one negative test in one of them, the dummy's head turned violently before slamming into the seat. In another, the head actually went under the airbag and hit a door. Seat belts are a big reason why. And the front seat vehicles have belts with a tension system that mitigates the force of the crash. The 9 SUVs rated poor did not have those same belts in the back seat. Researchers say automakers are aware of the findings and some are already making changes. A new report shows inflation is slowing down, and that could be good news in time for your holiday shopping. Elise Preston reports.
Yep, we have angel number jewelry.
Inflation has Anna Center looking for holiday gifts that fit into her budget.
We are kind of in the process of getting a house, and right now the market is outrageous.
Judy Bacon and Lisa Wallace's family decided to do a Secret Santa this year and limit the number of gifts.
How has inflation impacted that?
I think everything's more expensive.
A new government report shows prices on most items we buy are still going up, but not as much as before. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says overall prices jumped 7.1% in November compared to the previous year. That's down from 7.7% in October and the June peak of 9.1%.
I think that we're trending in the right direction. 5 consecutive months where we're seeing the pace of inflation decelerating.
Much of that deceleration is being fueled by falling gas prices, down more than 50 cents in the last month, according to AAA.
Good morning.
President Biden, who faces heavy Republican criticism over inflation, pointed out that price hikes for many necessities are also easing.
Food inflation slowed last month, providing much-needed relief for millions of families at the grocery store.
But shelter is one category that continues to climb, which includes rent prices.
The fact that shelter went up is not a great sign, but economists do expect that that rate will drift down.
The inflation slowdown will likely cause the Federal Reserve to slow down interest rate hikes. On Wednesday, the Fed is expected to increase a key rate, but not as much as previous months. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Let's get a look at your certified most accurate weather. Julian Seawright joins now with his complete forecast. Julian?
Well, our dinner time and taking the dog out for a walk are going to be a bit on the soggy side as we're looking at rain throughout much of Madison and for southern Wisconsin. But on top of it, visibility has been lowered as well. 5 miles for us here in Madison, 7 for Platteville and Monroe, and about 6 for Janesville and for Lone Rock. So if you are traveling, make sure that you are taking it slow as we are looking at visibility to be obscured for many areas here in southern Wisconsin. Now, this is the big headline for us, which has been bringing snow throughout the Great Plains, and now it is starting to move its way into the upper Midwest rather slowly. But the leading edge of that warm front is what's bringing us rain coming in from the south. Parts of Illinois and southern Wisconsin are really holding on to some moderate to heavy rainfall and even some light rain as well. But we can see areas just to the north, even parts of Minneapolis and Minnesota are starting to switch over to snow as the temperatures begin to drop. But for us, we're looking at temperatures to actually warm up a couple degrees as we continue throughout the rest of this evening. As you can see, any of that snow is starting to phase out back into rain, but right on top of it, you can see that rain starting to resurge just a bit as we continue throughout the rest of this evening. So areas for Platteville, we were looking at a bit of some dry spots. Well, that's going to start to pick back up in terms of rain as we continue into the next 3 hours. We're looking for more widespread showers heading into tonight. So it's going to be on the soggy side, especially as we lead into our Wednesday morning. Now, walking through the rest of our evening, we're going to see that rain spreading across southern Wisconsin. Some areas further to the north, which is going to be a couple degrees closer to the freezing point. Could see a bit of that mixing, maybe even a couple of snowflakes start to go into our Tuesday night. night. But overnight, we're going to see temperatures here in Dane County and throughout Boscobel and Lone Rock going to be warm enough to where we're just going to hold on to rain throughout the overnight hours and heading out the door for our Wednesday morning. Now, around 7 o'clock is where we're going to see a dry period. So heading out the door may be wet on the grounds, but we're not going to be seeing too much in terms of rainfall. But then we will start to see a bit of a resurgence after the lunchtime hour. 5 o'clock, we're going to start to see a bit more rain rolling its way in, starting in for the eastern side of Dane County and for parts of Rock County. As we get into around the 10 o'clock hour, it's going to be widespread once again, but you can take note that the southwestern part is pretty much not going to be seeing much at all in terms of rainfall. But all the rain in itself is mainly going to be from Dane County and areas to the east and transition once we get into our Wednesday nights going into our Thursday morning. Then for Thursday, we are looking for another dry period and then another resurgence of some snowfall going into our Thursday afternoon and to our Thursday nights. So watching how we're going to see the development of it, it's going to be mainly light snow and potentially even some flurries from Thursday going into our Friday morning. Then we have another flurry chance going into Saturday, and then for the rest of the weekend, it's going to be dry. But next few days is going to be rather wet. We could see about an inch and a half of rainfall from Dane County over towards the Dells and close to Janesville as well. Areas to the southwest are not going to be seeing too much of that rain as the system is going to continue to push itself east. And snowfall totals will be best in the farther northern side of Wisconsin. But we could see trace amounts in some localized areas. Could see close to 2 to 3 inches, but mainly to the east is where we're looking for 2 to 4 inches of snow from this event. Here's our 3 things we'll need to know for our weather headlines. Next few days are going to be a bit messy, but we're going to really have to pay attention to how quickly those temperatures drop over the next couple of days, because we could start to see some ice accumulation going into our Friday morning. Outside of that, temperatures will fall for the weekends. We're going to be into the 20s. And then next week, folks, get ready for more Arctic air as we'll be into the teens, and overnights we'll be into the single digits. Taking a look at the Beltline, it has really slowed down as the weather is really starting to impact travel for our evening commutes. And taking a look over towards the interstate, there are some slow spots, but as of right now, we're just looking at some rather normal conditions for our traffic as of right now. Till then, let's go ahead and send it back to you, Eric.
Julian, thank you. Today, the Badger Hawkeye Red Cross in West Madison paid tribute to a former donor and volunteer. Brad Mortar made it his lifelong commitment to donate blood after donating for a coworker who was battling cancer. Brad died unexpectedly last year, but his family and friends joined the Red Cross to honor him with a stained glass window. The number in the window represents the incredible 108 gallons of blood that Brad donated over the course of his life.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Because again, the impact that Brad made every single day with, with his donations himself, and then the selflessness of giving back to his community, to making sure that there's an adequate blood supply by either donating himself or even driving. So he made such an impact, and that's why we're here today, to honor him for the great work that he did.
And if you'd like to donate blood or volunteer with the Red Cross, visit redcross.org. Just ahead, some shipping deadlines are drawing near. Some important dates to know for shipping those holiday gifts. That's next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Ready, Dad?
All charged up.
This holiday season, Ford wants to help you shine bright with a special offer. Now, choose from a great selection of new Ford vehicles in stock and ready for delivery. Or place a custom order on select Ford vehicles. Lock in your rate, and you're protected.
I'm proud of you, kid.
And that's how Ford is helping you shine bright. This season, choose Flex Buy on a 2022 Ford Escape or Edge and get 0% APR financing for 66 months.
Hey, there's my girl. Who's that?
Life can be uncomfortable. Your home doesn't have to be. Whether you're looking for all the advanced features or something with a lower upfront cost, with Rheem heating equipment, you can stay comfortable even in the most uncomfortable situations.
Oh, come on. Yes, let's go.
Feel the Wohlers difference. Call Wohlers Heating and Air Conditioning today, serving Dane County for over 45 years.
Stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes to an hour. I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. When I met Dr. Ginniker and he introduced me to Power Swabs and I saw how effective they were and how easy they were to use, I knew we had to share it with the world. Power Swabs was clinically studied to whiten natural teeth as well as stain caps, crowns, and veneers. It's so effective, it works on stains caused by coffee, tea, red wine, and even smoking. For those of you who have that one stained tooth that's darker than the rest, Power Swabs can target that area using swab precision.
My favorite thing about the Power Swabs is that I was actually able to take the swab and really get through some of those areas that are kind of like untreated. I felt like I can immediately see the results, and I'm like, oh, I'm definitely starting to see the shades getting brighter and brighter, or whiter and whiter.
If you have yellowing between your teeth, if you have coffee or tea stains near your gum line, just snap, swab, and smile. And in each 5-minute application, you'll see whiter teeth. So stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays and start using the Power Swabs 5-minute solution.
After just 7 days, the results were awesome. Power Swabs was easy to use every day, and each day I could see it better and better, and from beginning to end, it's definitely whiter. They look clean, they feel clean, and people have made comments about it, which is nice.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. This holiday season, order Power Swabs and receive up to 40% off, and as an added bonus, get a free Power Swabs Quick Stick Pen with your order. The Quick Stick Pen is your on-the-go solution to help prevent stains from adhering to your teeth after drinking coffee, tea, or even after smoking. And in addition to saving up to 40% on your purchase and your free Quick Stick Pen, get free shipping by ordering now. Dial the number on your screen or visit powerswabs.com today.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Major shipping deadlines for holiday delivery are just days away now. Some key details about when and how to send packages can make a big difference. Karin Kafas in Washington with insider tips from the major shippers.
This guy handles his own last-minute shipping. The rest of us have deadlines.
The longer you wait, the more limited your choice of shipping becomes.
For delivery by December 25th, the United States Postal Service says the recommended deadline for ground service packages and first-class mail, like greeting cards, is Saturday, December 17th. Priority mail, Monday, December 19th.
Everybody wants to get those holiday greetings and gifts in the mail. So be patient with the retail clerks. Be patient with your carrier.
Spokesperson Kim Frum says the Postal Service YouTube channel has how-to videos on topics like properly packing a box and addressing a package to a military service member. She also says if you're planning to wrap the outside of your shipping boxes in brown paper or anything else, don't.
No brown paper packages, no tied up with string. Do not do that because you could run the risk of things getting caught in the machinery.
UPS used a streamlined digital process to hire for 100,000 seasonal openings.
This is our Super Bowl, and we are excited.
For UPS, the last day to ship second-day air is Wednesday, December 21st. Next-day air, Thursday, the 22nd. Darren Jones of UPS says their operations are ready for whatever Mother Nature brings.
The good news is that we've been doing this for 115 years, so we know a little bit about what we're doing here.
For FedEx Express Saver shipments, the deadline is Tuesday, December 20th. FedEx Same Day, Friday, December 23rd. And with all major carriers, the closer to December 25th, the more expensive expedited delivery options will be. In Washington, I'm Karin Kafa.
Experts say delivery reliability has improved since the last two holiday seasons, but consumers should still give themselves as much buffer as possible to ensure those shipments arrive on time. Stay with us. We'll have a final check of your First Warn forecast in just a moment.
Raising healthy children takes a village, and kids thrive when their village is healthy too.
SSM Health and News 3 Now are helping you unlock a healthier world with our Time for Kids Keys to Health campaign. We'll show you how sustainable choices create healthier lifestyles, explore the impacts of food security on families,
and share ways we can help build a healthy community together. Join us on air, online, and in your village, and take time for kids.
Cut the cord and turbocharge your next project with Bosch cordless power tools from Menards. Bosch's battery system delivers a power pack solution designed to tackle the toughest jobs. Rip, cut, drill, and dry with Bosch Power Tools. Faster charging speeds, longer run times, and lasting durability. You can expect the best performance out of your tools with Bosch. Pick up the Bosch 18-volt half-inch drill kit today for just $79.99.
Save big money at Menards.
At Chevy, the holidays mean going places and doing things you love to do with friends and family. Visit your local Chevy dealer, and when you find your red tag, you find your deal. Then make the most of your time with the people who matter most. Find new moments, find new roads. Find your red tag and get $1,500 total cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, current Chevy owners get an additional $2,500 cash allowance. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Wells Fargo lets you know where you stand with your FICO credit score. What if you knew where you stood with everything, like your future in-laws?
Hope you like cats.
I hope your parents like me. They're whispering.
The kitties like her.
Can they tell I'm allergic? Tears of joy.
Welcome to the family.
Like knowing where you stand? When it comes to your credit score, you can with Wells Fargo.
How do you use your energy? Inspiring a spark of creativity? Working hard to reach your goals? Thinking outside the box to bring your vision to life? At Alliant Energy, we're creating more clean, renewable energy every single day to power what matters to you. Because even during the most powerful moments in our lives, we're not thinking about power, we're thinking about a brighter future. Alliant Energy, powering beyond.
Brothers Maine has been family-owned since 1938. Some of us were born into this family, and others chose to join through the years. And we know you can't replace family, but you can replace appliances, and Brothers Maine is here for you when one breaks down. Our in-house team has delivered ranges to washers to refrigerators to hectic households in a pinch, oftentimes the next day. Just because an appliance breaks down doesn't mean you have to. We're not big box. We're Brothers Maine, and we want you to feel like family here.
And Julian's back with one final check of the forecast.
Well, we're going to be looking at some wet and messy weather for the next few days, but be prepared for a little bit of snow to start to mix its way in by the time we get into our Thursday. Now, we do have periods of it just being flat out quiet, but we are looking for more resurgence of that snow to pick back up Thursday afternoon into our Thursday night and could start to linger into our Friday morning. Heading into the weekend, it's going to be colder. We do have a shot of some flurries for Saturday, but it's going to be dry for Sunday. But next week, folks, we're actually looking at some good signs that potentially we could see a white Christmas this year.
Yeah, if those temperatures are low, it won't melt if it gets here. Julian, thank you. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.